No officers were hurt during the shooting, and the two suspects are in custody.
WFMY News 2's Hunter Funk is live at the scene with an update. Hunter, what do you know?
Yeah, Greensboro police say an officer was near 4600 block on Church Street, and that's when he got a call about a robbery in process. Now, when the officers got to that scene, police say two suspects fired several shots at the police cruiser, and that's where it takes us to this scene where a police chase ended right here on 16th and Fairview. Now, GPD says the officer was not hit by the shots fired, but police say several shots were fired at the officer's patrol car, shattering one of the windows. Police took two suspects into custody. Investigators say multiple guns were recovered by officers. Police say no officers fired their weapons. And again, there's no reported injuries at this time. And as you can see, it's still an active investigation both here and all over on Church Street, but we'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Hunter, thank you for that update. This is a developing story that we're monitoring closely. Those with our free WFMY News 2 app will get the latest updates first.
All right, time now for your 4 to 5 roundup. First up today, we are getting a first look at the newest STEAM Academy. Aggie Academy held an open house today to celebrate its first month. The school offers hands-on research for students while also providing North Carolina A&T students real classroom training.
And so our goal is to show them to stay excited about teaching, to show the engagement opportunities for our students, to show that you can have creative expression.
It's a good opportunity to have student teaching experience without just jumping into the schools.
Aggie Academy is a public school for 3rd through 5th graders, primarily living in East Greensboro. It's not part of Guilford County Schools, but a partnership allows students to get rides to and from school and meals through the district. The deadline for back-to-school immunizations is quickly approaching. Next week, the Greensboro and High Point Health Departments are offering last-minute walk-in clinics. Parents can also make appointments at either site. Proof of those shots are due by the 30th day of class.
Student safety is priceless, but are the very devices designed to protect students coming at a cost to our health? WFMY News 2's Megan Maleris verifies.
That sound means it is time to verify. Safety in schools tops this year's checklist as education leaders across the country evaluate and rework protocols. And a new step to strengthen school safety is under the microscope. Across the country, many districts are using body scanners this year. The technology is nothing new. It's already in airports and other populated venues. The concept promotes safety, but what about the technology itself? Let's verify, do body scanners emit harmful levels of radiation? Our sources are the CDC, the Argonne National Laboratory, Evolve Technology, and Mark Flug, Cone Health Radiology Safety Officer.
The radio waves that are emitted, they bounce really, readily from the body. So they're not X-raying the body. There's no radiation that's retained in the body. It's basically bounced off and back to the detectors. They don't have the ability to damage an atom in your body or cell.
He said this non-ionizing radiation is low energy, similar to that of a microwave on the electromagnetic spectrum. So body scanners are different from both the standard metal detector and the backscatter X-ray technology airports phased out decades ago. This Argonne National Laboratory report shows how it works, scanning the body without touching it to identify objects beneath clothing. Body scanner manufacturer Evolve, which supplies to local districts, affirmed its system uses the low-frequency technology and meets several safety certifications. The CDC confirms even daily use of these scanners is safe and pointed out the technology releases thousands of times less energy than a cell phone. But Flug suggests anyone with a medical device consult a physician before using scanners regularly.
So from my experience in a magnetic field, somebody with a hearing aid could experience feedback.
In conclusion, we verified no, body scanners using non-ionizing radiation technology do not emit a harmful amount of radiation. They are safe for daily use in schools or workplaces. But if you have concerns, talk to a physician. Flug emphasized radiation from the sunlight and radon gas are much stronger and more threatening. That's why it's important to wear sunscreen and do home radon testing. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
If you see a claim you want verified, send it to verify@wfny.com. Include any relevant links, screenshots, or videos.
All right, let's chat with Monique now. Really good forecast, kind of fall-like, what we all like, with even some of those lows in the 50s, Monique.
Yes, when I walked outside this morning, I was like, oh, this is the weather that I like. The weather has been feeling good all day long, no matter where you live across the central Piedmont. Now, when you look at this wide shot view here of most of the nation, what you're seeing is some heat. Well to the west of us, Wichita, Kansas, 91, 87 in Oklahoma City. We're not feeling that. We're in the 70s all across the central Piedmont. We're all feeling those good temperatures, 79 in Greensboro, 79 in Winston-Salem, 80 in High Point, and yes, it is refreshing, and that refreshing weather is sticking with us. That's due to these dew points in the comfortable range. They've actually changed throughout the day today. Earlier this morning, we had dew points reading in the 70s and 60s. That was overnight. And then as we move through the wee hours of your day, they fell. They crashed into the 50s and 60s. And now look, they're sitting in those low 50s, and that's why it feels so good when you walk outside. Over the last 20 hours, the weather has changed a good bit in a healthy way, in my opinion, as it feels nice outside even now for this 4 p.m. hour. So tonight, with those dew points staying low and as refreshing as it does feel, it's going to get really cool for your late evening. As those temperatures fall down into the 50s and the humidity isn't a factor, most folks will actually get kind of chilly late in the evening. You'll be able to open up your windows and possibly give your AC a break. We do it often in the fall, and it's feeling like fall not only for tonight across the central Piedmont, but even in the foothills. As those numbers still reading in the 50s, it's a clear and cool night everywhere across the central Piedmont, and our 7-day shows that this weather pattern sticks with us for the next several days.
Dig into it's Ben Briscoe here. President Joe Biden says he's got a plan to help change cancer from a death sentence to a chronic disease that people can live with. Starting with a new national blood study to detect cancers and new grant opportunities to advance in young cancer researchers in their careers.
Imagine the possibilities. Vaccines that could prevent cancer, like there is for HPV.
We'll dig into the plan and when it could start producing results, coming up at 5:30.
Diabetes is the 7th leading cause of death in the United States, and it can take a very serious toll on your quality of life. One common symptom is diabetic neuropathy, a condition affecting about half of all patients. If left untreated, it can lead to pain, foot ulcers, and even lower limb amputation. Pain relief, though, could be a reality for many diabetic patients. The FDA recently approved the use of a spinal cord stimulation device to treat chronic nerve damage that is associated with diabetes. Dr. Ken Cochran is a nerve pain physician with Novant Health. While spinal cord stimulation is not new, Dr. Cochran says experts found it can be a good option for people who have peripheral nerve pain due to diabetes.
But it's a device that's placed on the back part of the spine in the epidural space. And what this device does is that it sits in that space. It watches neurotransmitters, specifically pain fibers that travel up the spinal cord and synapse or act on the brain to where people perceive or note or experience pain.
Dr. Cochran says this device became a game changer for patients who feel they have tried everything to relieve pain.
That affects their sleep, that affects their movement, that affects their activity. And so this device can overcome that by targeting those chronic nerve fibers that travel up the spinal cord. And it can basically scramble that signal to where the brain isn't perceiving all that pain.
Dr. Cochran says this spinal cord stimulator can be covered by insurance and is for someone who has a history of diabetes with good glucose control. For more information on how to qualify, just look for this story on our website.
Hey, if you haven't checked out our 4 to 5 live stream, you are missing out. On the Facebook chat, all sorts of people join us for conversations during commercial breaks. We tend to talk about things we don't discuss on the news. We even have an exclusive Facebook group. It's called the 4 to 5 Club. Just search for it on Facebook and click Join Group. We'll be right back.
You know, it's always fun to check out all the cool animals at the Greensboro Science Center, but did you know you can get a real up-close and personal experience with them? Yeah, it's called Zoo Trek, and you will not believe how much you will experience. It is definitely what to see at the GSC. My gosh, they are so cute. All right, Megan, so Zoo Trek, if I were to be doing this, what do I actually get to feed them? What happens here?
Yeah, so the ring-tailed lemurs are one of the animals that you get to visit on our Zoo Treks, and they do get fed by our visitors.
This is what Chad Silber looks like when he eats lunch. There it is.
So they are super excited about their treats. They usually get some fruit, so it's a really good time for them.
And where are they native to? Or where will we find them in the world?
So all lemurs are native to the island of Madagascar, which is in Africa, and that's the only place where you can find these guys in the wild.
And this is probably like the only time that you have this experience of actually coming in here and doing this. You won't get this any other time.
Right, yeah, this solely for Zoo Treks.
And people normally, their reactions are what when they get to this?
They love the lemurs.
I don't know, but I'm about to find out what a trumpeter hornbill is, and Darcy's going to help me with that. All right, so this is part of the Zoo Trek, and people get to do what with this?
So we have a lot of fun with the Zoo Trek. We bring out people to meet our animals and give them little snacks. We also give them enrichment. So we give animals enrichment to stimulate their mind and body and encourage natural behaviors. And so that can be anything from something for looking for food or smells, new people and faces. That's really enriching to animals.
And what do they eat, or what are we feeding
So
them?
these guys are omnivores, so they eat a bunch of different insects and fruits, but their favorite is blueberries, and so that's what we'll be giving them.
Here you go. There you go. Wow. So it's funny, I never thought that we, the people, would be enrichment for the animals, but that's the way it works, right?
Yep. So they are getting new sights, new smells, new sounds and interactions, and that's all something that encourages those natural behaviors.
Keeps the brain going.
Exactly.
But Audrey, tell me, so this is part of the whole experience. What do people get to do here?
Yeah, so people get to come in and we get to feed the tortoises, so not something that everybody gets to do. So it's a really cool experience because we'll go in, feed them some romaine lettuce, some of their favorite treats, and then we actually get to pet them too.
He loves it. Now, how does this help them? Tell me about that.
It's kind of enrichment for them, so it's sensory experience. You're a good boy. Petting, getting to see different colors, because they do like red for sure.
Really?
Yes.
I picked the right shirt today. Yes.
So,
now feeding them, you just tell me how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, so these guys have really strong jaws.
Oh, you're right. I can feel the strength.
So we don't want them to bite your finger.
Yes.
So one thing for the tweezers, so it kind of extends your hand, so you're gonna let them bite the lettuce and then let them take it, and if it falls on the ground, we've got plenty more.
It's okay. So it's amazing all the stuff you get to do. I mean, you really get to get in there. The tortoise is the thing that amazed me, is that I just thought their shell was hard like a bone. It's not. They can feel it. So I scratch, which feels like you're scratching like this, and he would stretch up.
So it has like nerves in it.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
it's kind of
Interesting.
crazy. Yeah, I want to show you. You can get these little things too. So every time you complete a different zoo trek, you'll get one of these buttons. We'll see if we can show it on camera 5. Oh, right here. Sorry about that. Let's put it up there. They're tiny little buttons, but anyway, each one has a picture of like the bird or the lemur, or the tortoise or whatever, and you can collect them all basically.
So is each like stop, is it all included in one trek, or do you do separate treks?
There are different ones. You can do combos. And
okay.
And so they are on the weekends, and they run through November 4th. And if you look for this article on WFYNews2.com, I'll get you linked up with all that. It's a lot of fun and stuff that you will never get to do normally. They have to take those precautions. You notice I was wearing the mask with the lemurs. But everything you saw me do and then some, you get a chance to do.
And I wouldn't charge you much if you wanted to feed me lunch, like you did
Absolutely.
that lemur. You know, a very nominal fee.
Through a fence?
Yes, exactly.
To feed Chad. It's only $10.
Which was your favorite?
Oh man, you know, I think it's the tortoise, because we really could get in there with them and interact and touch them. Like the birds were, you know, they're standoffish.
Yeah.
But the birds were amazing. You throw the grapes up in the air and they fly and catch them.
That's such
really
a cool
cool
experience. Definitely something you could do with the family, with some friends.
Yep. My daughter would love it.
Yeah.
To get that close with the animals. Very cool.
Yeah, it's probably going to be on your list here soon, right?
I hope she's not watching right now. We'll be right back.
Get a text message, Daddy.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. It's the Hippo Cam.
It's the Hippo Cam.
Hungry hippo.
I would love to see like something wild happen on this camera, like the hippos fighting or something.
What?
Chad said once he wanted to play real life Hungry Hippo with the ones.
Let's put you in the hippo cage.
We are gonna do it. We are gonna do it.
Area and see what happens.
We should have a
Facebook. We're gonna do Hungry Hippo, but we need pledges, like money, like because we're gonna raise money for the science center.
No, here's what I want us to do. I want us to put boxes with like lettuce and cabbage, whatever it is they eat, in there.
Yeah.
And then we have a remote control here, and we can push the button and drop it out and watch them come eat.
Oh my god.
Like Brad, like Brad, our director, he's got one of those cat
he does?
things. Yeah, and I think he also had Brad remind me if I'm wrong here, but it's like a laser pointer that you can control in the house while you're remote.
And annoy your cat.
Yes.
I'm talking to the Science Center people. We're gonna work that out.
All right, Facebook, we'll be right back.
All right, the radar is dry. It's a much different story as compared to yesterday or the weekend. There's actually nothing happening in North Carolina or in South Carolina. You see that wispy white that's coming up from the south? Those are clouds. Other than that, really not much of the story across anywhere in this mid-south area. When I widen this view and we look to the far northeast, right around those New England states, that's where the rain is. And I do believe I see a yellow polygon there indicating a severe thunderstorm warning, but that's nowhere near us. Most of the rain is not in the picture for a lot of folks in our area, and that's due to that high pressure, that Canadian high pressure. And I'm really emphasizing Canadian because it's going to feel cooler, less humid. That weather pattern is very notable to that area. So we're going to be feeling that not only today for the next several days to follow as high pressure continues to just settle in, and tomorrow it's going to lock in and we're going to get real cool. In fact, even a few degrees cooler than today, because the humidity is really going to drop off and that high pressure is going to settle in nicely, making for a cooler midweek, and that high pressure staying locked in for your Thursday and keeping us dry. And then as we go towards the end of the week, well, look at that. No rain chances. And it's been quite a while since we've seen no rain over the weekend. I know a lot of folks are like, is it going to rain on Saturday and Sunday? The answer, at least for right now, is no. So we're expected to stay dry all the way through the weekend. So your weekend plans, you can keep them on the calendar this go around. It's going to be a nice weekend ahead. And next up, I'll be talking more about the tropics in just a bit.
Wow, listen to that music. You know, someone was asking, I think it was Tamrica was asking, how do you get into the Facebook group on 4 to 5? And it's very easy, just search 4 to 5, select join, and then depending on how quickly our fearless leader, Kayana, goes into it and approves it, you will be able to be in the group.
Yes, it's called the 4 to 5 Club.
Oh, she just approved 3 new people, and Brad said he got approved within 30 minutes.
We're moving on up.
We are moving on up.
I like this music.
I know, this is, I feel like I'm at,
70s.
I feel like I walked into a, like a very chic,
Lounge or
lounge.
something?
Yes,
You
yes.
have like a nice little beverage.
Yep.
Where he has a little Prosecco.
Yep.
Like here Royale, as it were.
And it's just, and it's like progressive, and it just gets more and more like high, like more BPMs, and then all of a sudden we're just in a party. Just beats per minute increasing.
Lord. I want an extra dry martini with extra olives. Thank you.
Facebook, what's happening today? Tell us what is happening with you. Melita said, Kayana, did you approve me? I sure hope so. Preston wasn't approved yet.
Yep, Kayana said she did. Check, you're in.
Oh, good. Preston is approved now.
Oh, back to the hippos. The hippos are dancing.
Wouldn't it be a really funny prank if all of a sudden we were looking at this and I just like ran across the screen all the way?
Or be in scuba in that. So they asked me at the Science Center, they said, would you get in scuba gear and go in the shark tank? And I said, the answer is no. But the girl that does marketing for them, Becca, she goes, that's what I'm training to do now, because I want to do like, they're trying to, oh, look at
There's the hippo.
Look.
Getting in the water.
Cute.
Time for a bath.
I wish we could control, like zoom in. Oh.
Yeah, Brad controls it. He controls the camera.
Really? Oh,
yeah, we're going into that one over there. I wish we knew their names.
I remember one.
Isn't one Fiona? Like the actual like
I don't
hippo?
remember. Okay, we'll be back, Facebook.
Social media is buzzing about the 74th Emmy Awards' most memorable moments. TV's biggest stars took home top honors last night in Los Angeles. Streaming networks dominated yet again, with HBO Max's Succession winning the most awards. However, it wasn't a sad night for traditional networks. New sitcom Abbott Elementary was awarded for its comedy writing, prompting Sheryl Lee Ralph to win Best Supporting Actress. And if you missed out on her acceptance speech, let me tell you, it was one to remember. Here's a snippet of it.
I am a woman, I am an artist, and I know where my voice belongs.
Wow. Ralph went on to encourage people to push towards their dreams despite closed doors. Now, the award was so emotional because Ralph is the first Black actress to win that category in 35 years. The previous winner is Aggie Academy from her role as Sandra Clark in 227. What's interesting about this connection is Aggie Academy actually wrote on her Facebook page that the network originally wanted Ralph to play Sandra's character in 227. Originally.
Wow.
So that's an interesting connection, isn't it?
I didn't know that. She had them in the palm of her hand.
She did.
I mean, that was powerful. And they were going crazy. I love that.
It was such a powerful speech. I actually posted it to my Facebook page this morning as my morning motivation because she really just sold it home that if you have a dream, don't let anyone get in your way. And if you have a supportive system, like she talked about her husband and her children and how they've just been there for her, and like you just keep going and your time will come. And she's definitely deserving of this award.
You know Jennifer Coolidge, you know if you saw her, she won an Emmy. I didn't see the Emmys at all, but I saw her speech, and they started playing the music, trying to play her off. They call it, and she just started dancing. She was like, I'm not going.
I'm not going anywhere. I saw also, this is great. Winston-Salem State shared that one of their alumna, Charity Holloway, she won an Emmy last night. She works with Lizzo on a show called Watch Out for the Big Girls. It's like a reality show. So they were, really happy that obviously a Winston-Salem State alum was part of that. I mean, think about what it would be like to work with Lizzo or just really any huge musician.
That would be awesome. Life-changing.
So much fun. Sure. Why are we here? We need to be working with the musicians in the big time, getting our Emmys.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hopefully they're watching us.
You had to think.
All right, let's do
now
it.
he's in. All right, we'll take a break. We'll see you in just a minute.
We're going to Hippo Cam, so come join us on Facebook.
On Facebook.
I don't have an IFB, so. I'm a loser and I don't get one. No. Who's in the 430 that I can't borrow?
Mic check, Jalen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brad. How do I sound, Brad? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know.
There was nothing on the table. Unless somebody. Unless everyone's like keeping them at their desk. Hey.
Did they just put these there? Oh, it's really far.
Oh, Jalen's right before me.
I'm first, right? After news to know.
Yeah.
Can I use the weed first?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and I didn't know what you could do. I thought you had stickers from the GSC.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the 4 to 5. We've got the whole crew today. Chad, Eric, Monique, Lauren. Over there has been Briscoe. Amanda Ferguson's hiding over here.
It's just a party in the house.
In hockey, they call it full strength. We are back to full strength.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us on News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the News 2 app.
Coming up, we're going to be talking about something. I'm not going to say anything more than what is in here. The James Bond corn.
Ooh.
What do you think that's about?
I don't know.
Does he like to eat corn?
I guess we'll find out. James Bond corn is what we're talking about. So we will get to that. But first, one of the big stories we were following today, really a scary situation that happened in Northeast Greensboro today. It is what's leading off our 4 to 5. Right now, 2 suspects are in custody, accused of shooting at a Greensboro police officer. Investigators say it happened this afternoon just before 2 at 16th Street and Fairview Street. Police say they were responding to a robbery call when the 2 suspects started shooting at an officer. The officer was not hit, but bullets shattered their patrol car window. After a chase, police were able to take the suspects into custody. They also recovered guns from the scene. This is a developing story. We will keep you posted.
Right now, Asheboro city leaders are pushing to relocate a Confederate statue. It sits in front of the Randolph County Courthouse and honors Confederate soldiers from the area. Critics say the statue is offensive and could hinder future business relationships. Last week, the City Council unanimously voted to help facilitate its relocation.
The problem in the location for those that would like to move it is just at its location, it just seems representative of what we as a government would endorse or stand for. And that time has passed. And we are for the people, for all Americans, all inclusive, as the Constitution states.
The statue was erected in 1911 by the United Daughters of the Confederacy. While it is in Asheboro, it is on Randolph County property. Asheboro leaders do not have the authority to move the monument alone, but wishes to amplify the concerns of its citizens. Earlier this year, the Randolph County Board of Commissioners voted to keep the monument in its current state and location. This isn't the first time we've seen controversy over Confederate monuments in the Triad. Right now, a fence surrounds a Confederate statue in front of the Alamance County Courthouse. The location has been the subject of several protests in the past 2 years. The North Carolina State Conference of the NAACP sued Alamance County and its Board of Commissioners to remove the statue. The group wants it to come down, saying it doesn't honor military service under the Union. The county says it can't remove it because of a state law. At last check, a judge was reviewing the lawsuit.
Dig into it's Ben Briscoe here. Look, inflation is still going up, but it's not as fast as it was. A new report shows that stuff in August cost 8.3% more than the year before. In July, that was 8.5%, and in June, 9.1%. Prices aren't going up by as much as they were, but they are still going up. So what can be done to help you with the sticker shock? We're going to dig into it with leading economic experts coming up at 5:30.
A Triad favorite, Replacements Limited, is set to host its annual yard sale for the first time in a few years. If you don't know about Replacements, the company's website lists it as the world's largest retailer of china, crystal, silver, and more. WFMY News' Jalen Kilkey learned more about a huge turnaround expected in the sale.
Yeah, ever since 2019, Replacements Limited has been unable to hold their premier yard sale event due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, this month, the famous yard sale is back, and it should be bigger and better than ever.
So our last yard sale event was in 2019, and the pandemic kind of put a pause on it for us. And we were disappointed that we weren't able to invite our customers and the community back to visit us. So we're super excited to bring it back this year, and we hope that it's a beautiful day just like today, so that you can come out, get some sun, and do a little shopping.
So here's how it works. Visitors pay $5 to get in, then you pay $10 per 12 by 12 inch box. Now, you can fill as many boxes as you like with whatever you find on the hundreds of tables of precious pieces.
Over the course of the years, we collect pieces that may be seconds and things of that nature that we pull together and we keep to the side to specifically save for these events where we bring in our community to show them and let them enjoy the thrill of the hunt.
And let me clarify what Lynn means when she says seconds. Now that means these are pieces that don't meet the high display quality for the showroom floor, but that does not mean you can't find some hidden gems out there in the treasure chest.
That's so cool. I've never participated in anything like this before. Have you guys?
Not with that particular store, but they have everything. So my
Okay.
sister's big into China and all that, and she wanted the pattern that my mom had that we grew up with, but there's only like 7 or 8 pieces of it. She found everything there.
Wow.
Like an old school discontinued stuff, she found every piece.
I have never been there, but we've done stories with them for as long as I've been here and even longer. And I mean, their facility is huge. I mean, you drive by it on I-40, and I mean, I would love to just kind of see what it looks like in there. And if you're someone who loves like a yard sale, that's the spot.
It's the ultimate yard sale. And like you were saying, Chad, I mean, this was my first time stopping by replacements. And I mean, I was told it's 7 football fields in size. And I mean, they have a warehouse that is never ending. I walked through there and I was like, oh, we're still going.
I know.
I mean, it's rows. It's like 2-3 Home Depots put together.
At least.
Unbelievable.
Stacked on top. And I can't get over how they have everything organized correctly, you
Oh,
know,
it's
and like
perfect.
massive amount.
Can you get like furniture and things of that nature too?
No, it's
outside
all-
of, you know, like kitchen appliances. Could you
I'm
get like
pretty-
a kitchen table?
Pretty sure it's just, isn't it just China?
So
It's
they
mostly-
have China silverware. They also have jewelry
Glassware.
pieces,
Oh,
glass
nice.
pieces, stuff like that. But I was just so nervous when I walked in the door. Like when you hit the door, you know, like, okay, like
Don't touch
everything stay right here, shoulder width, can't bump anything,
So
can't
true.
break anything.
It's the ultimate bull in a China
It
shop.
is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So as we said, who doesn't like a great yard sale? So I asked you on my Facebook page, what is the best item you found at a yard sale? Lots of people weighed in on this. Our own Tim Buckley says Ninja Turtle cereal bowls.
Love it.
Donna Campbell wrote a vintage teacup set from England. It was trimmed in gold with beautiful roses. I got it for $7. That's a steal. Freedom Martin says baseball cards I got for $25 and then resold them for $700. That was the best thing I found. And then Gladys Blair says a gas grill for $25.
You can find crazy steals,
Yeah.
especially, you know, like our neighborhood does yard sales, and we joke because everybody ends up buying stuff from each other, and it just
It
goes
doesn't
to
go
somebody
anywhere.
else's
Yeah.
attic.
Yeah, it just keeps
Ridiculous.
traveling around the
I
neighborhood.
did find it because I collect old lunch boxes, and I found there was an old TV show in the 1970s, and I found a Welcome Back Kotter with a tag on it, never been used ever. It was where John Travolta got his start, his first sitcom that he was on, and I found that, never been used. And the lady said, it's been in my attic since 1975, $2.
Wow.
I used to like to go to estate sales. Have you ever been to one of those before?
No, I've heard.
So when I lived in Hattiesburg, like years ago when I first got in the business, me and some of my coworkers, we would go to these estate sales and you could find clothes. I remember buying like a ton of scarves. You could get jewelry, like real jewelry for really cheap prices.
They sell everything, right?
They
Like
say
furniture
they sell
and-
the whole everything in the house.
Wow.
So people were walking out with like kitchen tables, couches, and this is like good quality stuff.
Chad, it seems like we're missing out.
Right. I was
Yeah,
just
you
gonna
gotta
say,
get in on the
my-
estate sale.
My aunt and uncle facilitate estate sales.
Oh,
that's
wow.
So every week they go and they just go through houses of either people have passed. It's usually the
Yeah,
scenario.
yeah. Yeah, usually.
And I mean, it's just their job to put price tags on everything and sell it.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the stuff
To
that you
know
would find.
what, who I,
Like
And
they bring
usually a
people
lot
in
of
who
time
can
it's like
appraise things and that
wealthy
kind of stuff. Yeah.
people who have passed too. So you
I've
can
heard
get a
you
lot
could-
of.
cars. There's some
Yeah.
cars.
I
at
mean, the
estate sales.
$25 baseball card to $700. That's not a
Yeah,
bad. That's
that's
not
a
a bad
steal.
day at all.
Good ROI.
I'm
There
sure
you
they
go.
yeah.
say. Yes.
What are we talking about now? Weather.
Weather.
Right. Okay. Monique.
I'll just take it from here.
It's my turn to talk about weather here. And with you, we're going to bring the sky cam in here. I mean, look at how beautiful it looks out in Greensboro right now.
Yes, it's been a beautiful day all across the board. Now, I do want to just switch gears really quickly and talk about the tropics because we're actually a couple of days past the peak of hurricane season, but it seems as though this year, well, we haven't been talking about too much. Earl was the last named storm we talked about, but it's long gone and well to the north. But we are now watching two tropical waves that have emerged off the west coast of Africa. This one towards this portion of your screen has a moderate chance, of development, like 40-50% over the next 5 days. And then there's another one that's going to be moving into this general region across the southern Atlantic that does have a a lower chance of development over the next 5 days, more of like 20% in the next 5 days. These two, keeping a close eye on them, not real promising signs of us seeing anything else, but as always, keeping an eye to the tropics. As I said, Earl was the last named storm. It did upgrade to a Category 2 hurricane through its lifespan, but then it quickly moved to the north into cooler waters and things changed. Fiona's up next, but really not seeing and expecting for that to happen anytime soon, at least in the next 5 days. So not only is it quiet in the tropics, but it's quiet here at home. Temperatures warming up tomorrow into the 70s. Today we're in the 70s, but tomorrow I said it's going to be a few degrees cooler as compared to today, and it will be under mostly sunny skies, unlike in most days in the summer. When the sun is out, it bakes us. In the fall, well, it doesn't really do as much magic. We're going to be staying in the 70s for most of the day tomorrow, feeling like fall through the entirety of your Wednesday. It's going to be a nice one. Your 7-day forecast showing you the temperatures staying in the 80s for the next several days. Now, as we get through the weekend and the start of next week, we're going to start to get closer to the 85, that mid-range of the 80s, but you can see overall this forecast is very consistent. No rain chances.
Hey, it's big news today in NASCAR. Richard Childress Racing announcing two-time NASCAR Cup champion Kyle Busch will join that organization next year. He'll come to RCR after spending 15 years with Joe Gibbs Racing. Big deal here. Amanda Ferguson joins us to tell us more about this decision. Amanda?
There are reports that Kyle Busch couldn't come to a deal with Joe Gibbs Racing, so he's moving over to Richard Childress Racing in 2023. One of NASCAR's most storied teams, getting one of NASCAR's most successful drivers. The two-time NASCAR Cup champ tells us what it means to race for Richard Childress.
He's an inspiration to our sport, right? Like, he's a racer, he's a racer's racer. He's been in this deal. This is all he's known for 50 years. And so for me to have that opportunity to look up to somebody like him, to be able to get out there and go race for somebody like him, gives me full confidence that we're going to have the stuff that we need. And to see the success of that organization as of late, you know, and the resurgence they've already been creating is certainly very intriguing, but yet I definitely hope that I can add to that.
He will drive that number 8 car for them next year.
That's
very cool.
Pretty cool. So he's pretty much just building onto a legacy, you know, that's been around for a long time. So that has to be exciting for him, even though he's been
a new start. I mean, you leave
team.
somewhere after 15 years
Right.
and a new start. But I mean, he's a really good driver, and Richard Childress is a really good organization. So you pair the two together, you're bound to get some wins.
Not bad.
Does this happen often? I mean, does anybody know?
I don't know.
I mean, yes, I think it happens occasionally. I think it's more with not the bigger drivers. I think it's kind of the lower end drivers that are flipping all around trying to find a home.
I mean, he's pretty close to the top of big name drivers, so that's why it's surprising to me, I suppose.
It's a funny story because once when I was living in Florida and I didn't know much about NASCAR, it's funny, I learned more about NASCAR living in Florida than I did growing up here. Crazy.
Really?
But I was down there and there was a knock at the door. We were all covering Daytona and they sent me over to do feature stories and opened the door. And it was Kyle Busch, but I didn't know who that was. And so he was like, "Hey, is Jeff Gordon in here?" And I said, "No, he's staying." Like, he was staying on our floor down about 6. I said, "He's 6 doors down." Shut the door, and our sports anchor goes, "Chilton, you don't know who that was, do you?" I wouldn't know, because that was Kyle Busch. So I was like, "Oh man!"
Did you run back and get a picture?
No, I opened the door, and he was going in Jeff Gordon's thing. And crazy.
Wow. Well, I mean, we're getting close. I mean, not getting close, but counting down to the NASCAR race here.
Yeah, and that's coming up soon. In case you missed it, the NASCAR All-Star Race is coming to the Triad. It's set for May 19th through the 21st next year at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Weekend ticket packages will go on sale later this fall. For more information, head to WFMYnews2.com. And don't forget, while you're there, you can vote for our Friday Football Fever Game of the Week. It's time to cast your vote. Just look here for the story at the top of our page. There are 5 games to choose from, and you can vote as many times as you'd like. The poll closes tomorrow at 5 p.m. We'll be right back.
Hello,
It's
ice cold milk
cone.
and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination.
The best part about cone is the grease.
All right, friends, 2022, it's 60 years of James Bond movies.
Oh, wow.
And you know, when you think of James Bond, what adjectives come to mind?
Sleek.
Classy.
Stylish.
Debonair.
Yes.
Secretive.
Yes.
Ooh,
Very good.
all good, yes. How about corny?
Corny. No.
Corny Bond?
Corny?
Maybe some of the names of his women are corny.
Oh.
Yes, that's true.
We can't say most of them
We
on
cannot
TV.
say them.
Can't
You
say
are
some.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean corn literally. Let's take a look, okay? Check out this corn maze highlighting 60 years of Bond. Whatever Bond is your favorite. I mean, he's on there. He's ear. I mean, here. Get it? Ear. Corn. Okay. All right. So anyway, this is Spring Grove, Illinois, just north of Chicago. 28 acres of corn mazes and trails. Every year, Richardson Adventure Farm has a different theme. And this year, of course, it is James Bond.
Looking around, it was like 60th anniversary of James Bond. How fun is that? You know, great movies. I think there's a wide audience appeal, and it can make a good picture. It's really strange drawing in a cornfield, as you might imagine, with basically a 6-foot wide brush. So it's an interesting process.
All right, so speaking of the process, they don't plant a field of corn and then cut it out. They actually plant the corn in the shape of the picture.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
There's no cutting.
There was no cutting. No,
That
they
makes
planted
sense.
it in there. I thought that was really
That
interesting.
is really, and you know, I can't get over how, when you look at it, it's back here, how much they look like the people. Like,
Yeah.
it's
How
like
can
real.
how can you make that look like your people? All right, now, because we're talking about corn, I can't let this moment go by. Hit it!
I mean, then look at this then. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's corn!
We love this corn kid, do we not?
Love this
Tim
kid.
Buckley, I hear specifically you love the corn
I'm just
kid.
like singing that little, they made a corn song,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know, it's got like a corn song, corn jingle, it's got the juice, it's got the grease, whatever he says, he just loves that
I love how
corn.
he's pretending like he doesn't know the words, because you've watched that video at least
I was about
100
to say, you
times.
should sing it
I know, he
because
knows
you do know the words,
everything.
do
It
you
is
not?
so cute. And now he's the corn ambassador for like the whole
No.
country.
I
he
love
got
it.
flown out to South Dakota. He's the corn
Connoisseur?
ambassador. No, corn ambassador is what they're
Corn
calling
ambassador.
it. Yes, and he says, I hope you have a corn-tastic day.
Cornucopia.
That's right.
He's phenomenal. If you don't know what that is, you have to Google. All you got to Google is
should.
corn kid and it pops
Corn
up.
kid and it
Yes.
pops up.
I will say the second most enthusiastic person I've ever met about corn is that guy in that video we just showed you with the corn maze. You see how happy he was?
He was very happy.
The whole time.
I know, and he was
He's a
very
nice
like
man.
proud of himself, like the whole thing like
Yes.
turned out as good as it did, and they should be because it was really cool.
Yeah.
You know what we're talking about.
All right, so get you some corn, watch the Bond movies. We'll be back.
Enjoy. Fantastic.
It has been a while since we've seen this shot. This is a sky view of Winston-Salem. Hey guys, temperatures are sitting in the 70s. 79 is the current temperature in Winston-Salem. Look at that nice blue sky, a few cirrus clouds out there, but not putting a damper on anyone's parade. You can see folks driving down there on the highway. It is a nice afternoon. 52 is the current dew point, the humidity on the lower side. So guess what? It feels good. Current conditions everywhere. Look at these sun icons. This is what we like to see, especially with a lot of folks doing after school activities, maybe playing soccer or playing a sport. These are very nice weather conditions to continue all that activity through the late day. As I showed you guys earlier, this satellite radar hasn't changed much, maybe picking up on a few more clouds, but other than that, it's dry in the Carolinas. Not only here in the central Piedmont, but folks down to our south are dealing with no weather. It is dry, and I'm expecting for that story to be just the same for tonight. So temperatures will fall, but in terms of the rain, well, we won't be seeing any. Whether you're in the central Piedmont and the foothills, and then again, continuing for the day tomorrow. Temperatures warming up into the upper 70s all across the board. And guess what? That sun, it's still with us. It's going to be a mostly sunny midweek, and then continuing through the weekend, well, we get to still do that fun stuff outside as weather conditions will be right on target for outdoor fun.
If you haven't checked out our 4 to 5 live stream, you're missing out. On the Facebook page, all sorts of people join us for conversations during commercial breaks, saying hello to each other. Lauren even dances sometimes, and we talk about things we don't discuss on the news. We have even an exclusive Facebook group. It's called the 4 to 5 Club. Just search for it on Facebook and click Join Group. We'll be right back.
Microphone check, I'm Avery Powell. Microphone check, I'm Avery Powell.
Hello, I am not Avery Powell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Check 1 2 1 2. Check it. Check 1 2. Oh, Brad's right.
Hi, dig into it. It's Ben Briscoe here. We are talking about inflation and cancer.
Hi, I am Avery Powell, and we are following breaking news right now on WFMY News 2 at 5.
Avery, the scene just cleared. Greensboro police say the chase ended here at 16th and Fairview.
Scene cleared. Test. I am not Avery Powell, but here at Aggie Academy, they're having their first
Hey, it's time for My 2 Cents, and today we're talking about the animals you're afraid of. We had a conversation at work the other day. What animals scare you the most, or what are the most dangerous animals? That may not be the same thing, but for a lot of people, spiders, snakes, that kind of thing. But I looked up on sciencefocus.com, I found an article, the 10 most dangerous, and this is talk about what animals or things cause the most deaths. Now, what I thought would be at the top of the list was at the bottom. So number 10 was lions. That makes sense, but number 10? Number 9, hippos. Number 8, elephants. Okay. Number 7, crocodiles. Now you're kind of getting into the realm, but still, number 7, I'm going up the list, right, to the number 1. Number 6 was scorpions. Didn't think that many people or animals died from scorpions, but apparently so. But here's where it gets strange, ones that I wouldn't put there. Number 4, dogs. And in particular, dogs with rabies. They're responsible for 50,000 deaths a year because of dog bites with rabies, I guess, or dog attacks, we should say. It's unusual. Number 3, snakes. Our slithery friends are responsible for 138,000 fatalities a year. Number 2, humans. Responsible for a lot of deaths. And then I thought about that. I was like, you know what? I guess if you take war into account, that would make sense. But here's the shocker. Number 1, mosquitoes. Think about these numbers and you'll be glad fall is here. 110 trillion of them on the planet, about 16,000 mosquitoes for every person. Of course, they carry lethal diseases like malaria and West Nile virus and that type of thing. The number 1 most dangerous thing on the planet, living thing, are the mosquitoes. Thank goodness we're in September. But that's just my 2 cents. And that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
We are following breaking news right now on